Winter fashion, baby. I hope you're into it. I hope you're well. This is actually the first time that I'm doing winter trends. I usually do the trend videos spring, summer, and then autumn, winter. Like I just kind of combine them, but I've never done a dedicated winter one. So I'm gonna share my PowerPoint with you. The way that I usually do my trend reports or like these kind of trend videos is I like to look at overall themes of why these trends are happening. And I like to discuss that with you because I feel like that's really what makes it a trend. It's like what's going on in the zeitgeist, what's going on culturally, what are we gravitating towards as a society. TikTok was just moving the trend cycle a little bit too fast where I was like, I don't even want to talk about trends. I don't want anybody to like hop on these trends and feel like they need to have it, and like I'm so anti-trends. But there's like no way of being anti-trend. Like the trends, we as a culture, we dictate what's going on. The reason why people are saying like this trend is chuggy, and if you haven't heard of chuggy, I'm just gonna like save you the Urban Dictionary. It's basically basic bitch behavior, so it just makes it uncool. And that is telling of our society right now, and that I've been touching on, I feel like since the start of my channel. People want to be different right now. That has been a craving for many years, and people are really craving authenticity. And lately, like the past 2 years, I feel like gravitating towards things that are one of a kind and special. So when one hyped trend, or I feel like it's not even a trend, it's more like one hyped product, everybody gets it, and then people start knocking it off, and like you just literally can't escape it. Especially with TikTok, you're consuming more and more content. Things have been getting played out a little bit too much, but I'm just so not for this is chuggy, don't get it anymore. Hasn't even had a chance to really like people haven't even had a chance to think for themselves whether they like this trend or not.
It's not the vibes.
But I did check myself and I'm like, no, I love to talk about trends and like why they're happening. Whew, that was an intro, wasn't it? Just had to like get things off my chest. It's been a while since we've done trends, you guys. So let's move into the first trend. And like I said, we're gonna be discussing still like these bigger ideas. First trend is mountain high. Almost every designer had some element of après ski. Chanel, Balenciaga, Prada, Miu Miu. I mean, Miu Miu even had a full runway show in the freaking mountains, okay, on the slopes. And I feel like this is stemming from that craving of wanting to reconnect to nature. We really value the outdoors, and that's going to be a major theme for a lot of these trends that we're going to discuss today. Puffers are definitely a key item this winter season. Another key item is the oversized plaid scarf. That is definitely one of those more hyped items. I've been seeing it everywhere, and it's definitely a winter accessory that's always around, but it's just having its moment right now, like in a bigger way, because of all of the other elements in fashion. So it's a great additional accessory, to the après ski look. And you can also see this puffer aesthetic in accessories, handbags, backpack, boots. So I have these two photos here. These are actually from Elle magazine. I like how I'm
calling this trend mountain high.
Elle called this mountain high. This trend is here. It's already out in your retailers. I love this little puffer bag, and then I looked at how much it was. I was like, $1,000 for this little bag. But I also wanted to point out, and this is gonna tie into our next trend, this little balaclava. It's number 8, and it's by All Things Mochi. You can see it's like a crochet knit. Obviously it ties in completely with the ski resort. A lot of people wear them, so obviously to keep warm. It helps keep the wind out of your face. It makes sense to me why these are also popping off right now. It's because we're used to having our faces covered up now. Before, if somebody were to walk around with a ski mask, it's like weird, but now it's like you don't even bat an eye. We're just so used to having our faces covered, and I'm kind of here for this little do not disturb sign. Okay, I like that little barrier here, but also I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm not getting hit on as much. And sometimes the bitches just want to feel validated. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that out loud. That knit ties into our next trend. So from mountain high to mountaineer. So I feel like this is winter's response to the spring and summer's cottage core. So from cottage core to cabin core. So the chunky knits are continuing, the creative knits are continuing. Also, I feel like now in this winter season, we're seeing a lot of the Fair Isle, which is a traditional knitting technique used to create patterns with multiple colors. See it a lot in Christmas. So it makes sense why we're seeing so much of it right now, and it ties directly, I think, with cabin core. Quilting is also really trending, like this woman that I have on the PowerPoint right here in her jacket, but also quilted patchwork. It all has this like kind of vintage feel to them. Also in this trend is shearling. I think that's how you say it. Shearling or shirling? Shearling, darling. I feel like we see this a lot in the winter, but it's on the forefront. And we also see this in the Telfar and UGG collab. Obviously, UGGs are gaining popularity, especially with Emma Chamberlain being one of the top influencers, I feel like, for Gen Z and like dictating what they're wearing. Like, Emma, what are we wearing this season? You know? And also hiking boots are moving from the mountains to the streets. You don't even have to be hiking. And there's this one Instagram sponsored ad that continuously comes up on my feed, and it's Joa Brown. I need IDs on all of the hiking boots because they're so cute. Like with sweats, like if you love to wear sweats, a crew sock and the hiking boot, it looks so cool. This is where I pulled this one. Like literally this look is so cute to me. And then you just pair it with like either a cocoon puffer jacket, or what would be cooler is just like a camel coat and just keeping it real sleek, like, you know, Hailey Bieber vibes, I guess, but with a hiking boot. So cool. And then also plaid. I'm not even gonna really touch on this. Plaid, we see it every fall and winter season. I just feel like the variations always differ just slightly, but it's kind of like florals for spring, groundbreaking, plaid for fall. Wow. If you're into this trend, some places to buy are Urban Outfitters for sure. It has like that vintage quality. But before you go to Urban Outfitters, I would say go to your thrift store because there's definitely a ton of this. That quilted jacket, the amount of grandmas that donate this jacket, okay? I always see it. I always see it at the thrift store. Also check out the sports stores, you know, for all of this hiking gear, the camping stores. So here's some other ways this trend has shown up on the runway. So Jacques Mus kind of gave that shearling jacket a little update with the pastel color. It's cropped. It's definitely different than what we have been seeing. You can see Miu Miu really playing around with the creative knits and the way that they're layering. It's a bit chunky. Stella McCartney, definitely creative knit. Acne Studios feels very cabin core to me, and you can see here that Chanel has that Fair Isle knit. So on these slides I have mostly like runway stuff, but I did include a few ways that it's showing up like in real life, just photos that I found on Pinterest. So I actually have a Pinterest board called Winter 2022. I'm gonna leave it linked below in case you also want to be inspired. And I also like to include indie designers, maybe designers you haven't heard of quite yet, you know, aside from like the Chanels and the Balenciagas of the world. These knits are by this designer Larika Matoshi. I believe Emma Chamberlain actually wore the heart one, and I like this first photo too because it has the knitted gloves. I feel like those are definitely having a moment. I've been seeing them so much with dresses, like paired with dresses, but also with knits. You can see it here too with Maisie Wylen, and they have like, you know, the arm warmers. So like I said, a lot of these trends are overlapping, which makes sense because of the bigger overall theme that's really pushing these trends forward. So this one is the warm and fuzzy feel. So we're talking fuzzy hats, fur-lined jackets, and the cardigans. Something like this, like we've been seeing like from Saks Pot. This isn't Saks Pot actually, but you know, teddy coats are getting a little bit more sophisticated actually. I think they look a little bit more refined. Shearling and Uggs, as we already mentioned. When I saw this photo of M. Rada, I literally saved it. I think I took a screenshot of it. I want this to be my New York look. Do I have plans to go to New York? No. Do I want to? Yes, I absolutely want to go to New York and I want to wear this fit. And then here's some other ways that you can kind of wear this trend. You can see Otto Linger is another designer that I feel like is getting a lot of notoriety as they should. They're just really cool and different. They are also updating the shearling with like these bolder colors. So I feel like we're going to continue to see just like the puffers in bright colors. We're going to be seeing the furs and the shearling and all of this that we're so used to just seeing it in a more neutral color palette in brighter colors. So I definitely wanted to mention that. Green in general is really important. I feel like it ties back to nature. It's such a healing color and it's very comforting. So it makes sense for These unprecedented times, my dear. Aloe Yoga is another retailer that I feel like is doing winter wear really well, and it's like really good quality. I love this Sherpa jacket. They also have puffers, so check them out. And this girl, I can't remember her name, but I definitely have seen a few of her YouTube videos. She is grandma chic. I love her style. I think she kills it in this whole little color palette. I had to put her on there because she was serving the warm and fuzzies in that hat, and I just like the way she paired it. So now we're gonna get into a trend that is deviating from the nature theme and going into more, I feel like, rebellion, technology, metaverse, virtual reality, self-expression, gender fluidity. I feel like all of this is kind of like flowing. And I called it otherworldly. I really didn't know what else to name it other than otherworldly because it's very dystopian is another big theme. I love this photo of Grimes. It's so good. See the elf ears, all these prosthetics, which I definitely have touched on in trend videos. I can't remember sometimes if I talked about it on TikTok, if I talked about it on YouTube, if I just talked about it with myself in the shower, but I know I have talked about prosthetics. I kind of just put adjectives to kind of paint a picture of what this trend kind of looks like. So I put like matrix, leather, oh, also leather pants, leather blazers. Those are key items. I feel like leather pants has become as important as denim at this point, like almost an essential. It's the new uniform. Like people used to do like a black skinny jean and like a jean jacket, and that was their cute but cash. Now the cute but cash is a leather pant and a leather blazer, or like, you know, some kind of combination of both, whether it's the leather blazer with jeans or, you know, the leather pant and whatever form of outerwear that you're gonna put on. I put club kids because I do feel like this trend is all about like self-expression as well. I feel like we are craving things that are unique and different. It's definitely embracing things that are obscure and strange and unexpected. So you can see them in unexpected cutouts. You can see oversized sleeves or like asymmetrical sleeves, asymmetrical hemlines. Skirt over the pants is definitely something that I wanted to call out too. I didn't know where exactly to fit it, but I feel like it's pretty fitting in this otherworldly trend. I feel like punk is another thing that's going to continue to gain momentum. I know I have mentioned this as well in a trend forecasting video. I think it was in a prediction one. But it just made sense to me. I mean, emo is coming up on almost a 20-year trend cycle. So it just makes sense that we're going to be seeing it. I mean, Travis Barker, Kourtney Kardashian, Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly, pop punk like Avril Lavigne making a comeback. Like it's happening, okay? And it's definitely going to be stronger. This jewelry designer, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but those are Miss Kylie Jenner's hands. So you already know that it's going to become mainstream. Once like something is on the Kardashian, it just becomes mainstream. Also, there's this term right now going around that this is like the Great Resignation. So it definitely stemmed from the pandemic. A lot of people are quitting their jobs and they're like, it's just not worth it, or I don't know what the mentality is. But point is, people are resigning. You know, kind of like the Great Depression. This is the Great Resignation. And I already know it's millennials because we cannot be bothered to stay at a job for more than 3 years. I know, we're like, this isn't for us, we're out, bye. I feel like that's kind of like the rebellion. F corporations, like this is not, I'm not getting paid enough to be, you know, dealing with this. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of the sentiment. I also have Marc Jacobs, so I didn't even know which outfit to pick. I was just scrolling, I'm like, no, his whole runway show was just so dystopian to me. It almost looked like a virtual reality game, like Avatar. I don't even play video games, but it's giving me that vibe. But also it's giving me very space age. I'm sure he was inspired by the space age Pierre Cardin. You can see these unusual shapes, these oversized puffs, cocoons, the colors even, it just feels very otherworldly. Rick Owens, of course, the poster child for this like dystopian otherworldly trend. It's just in the brand's DNA. I really love this one, how Women's Wear Daily styled it. So cool. Also, disheveled knits. I feel like knits are across the board. And actually, knitwear hasn't been a category that has had a lot of importance, but lately it's just, I mean, I feel like it's up 700%. You know what I mean? It's just like all across the board, every single trend. Also, knits that are kind of cropped. Even the ones I will put in this category that are like, people are like, what's the point of this? You know, and it's like the knits that are just covering your arms and like your shoulder, and like most of them have a turtleneck, and sometimes it's paired with like a coordinating tube top. I know you know the one. I'm surprised I don't have a photo of it here. Courage with the inspiration, for me anyway. This is the way to do it. Monochrome and tight. Everything tight. I'm like so here for this Courage fit. And we made it to our last slide. Oh my god, I almost get to eat you pizza. I'm looking at you, baby. Almost. Elevated lounge. I feel like this is where a lot of us are gonna be. You know, it's our comfort zone. Everybody, I feel like, has in their closet, and this is definitely a response from COVID. So loungewear we just got real comfortable in. Also, just more people are working from home. These are like my coziest pants, where I still feel dressed up. Like, I mean, they're trousers. Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna just snap. Feels like a PJ, honestly. I have a pajama that feels just like this. So that's exactly this trend. You know, it's this shift to minimalism. I literally put here, like, what would Rosie wear? As in Rosie Huntington Whiteley, I feel like she is the queen of an elevated basic. She sticks to her neutrals, always in a nice, sleek silhouette, and it feels timeless. So that's where this trend is really focused on too. I feel like it's the sentiment of buy less, like choose well. Vivienne Westwood. So just some key items that I want to point out is definitely like a rib knit set. Yeah, I feel like that's like the biggest call out. And also just like a classic trench, streamlined pea coat jacket, blazers, like just these classic items that are really withstanding the test of time. Just very relaxed. Very, very relaxed. So definitely let me know what trends you're gravitating towards. My guess is elevated lounge, but you let me know. I can't wait to share with you that thrifting video. We are gonna thrift these winter trends. Want to go somewhere cold. Should I just like wear this to my next trip to Trader Joe's? Bomb.